Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are strapping in for a journey into one of the most singular, mind-bending moments in spiritual history. We're talking about Chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita, the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga,
The big one.
the big one. We are diving deep into the sources you shared, which focus on Arjun's request to see the divine form of Krishna and the world-altering vision he received.
It truly is the turning point of the entire narrative. I mean, to really get the gravity of this chapter, we have to look at Arjun's motivation.
Okay.
In the chapters just before this, Krishna has delivered some really profound philosophy, what he calls secret spiritual knowledge.
Hey, this has worked.
It has. It's successfully destroyed Arjun's fundamental ignorance, his doubts about who Krishna really is. So intellectually, he now accepts Krishna as the absolute cause of creation, of maintenance, and, dissolution.
So the mental barrier is gone. He trusts the data.
Precisely. But here's the critical distinction. Trust is one thing. Direct, undeniable experience is another thing entirely.
Oh.
Think of it like a brilliant science student who has fully mastered the theory of relativity. They know it's true, the math works, but they still want to see the particle accelerator in action.
They want to see the proof.
Yes. Arjun, in this moment, he approaches his guru, who is also his friend, not out of doubt, but out of a desire for absolute personal satisfaction.
That reframes the entire quest. It moves it from a test of faith to an act of, ultimate intellectual and spiritual curiosity.
It does.
And the Thokas point out how dramatically the relationship shifts here. Arjun stops seeing his buddy Krishna and starts using these huge, weighty titles.
Yes, Parameshwara, the Supreme Lord, and Yogeshwara, the master of all yogas.
He's ready to receive the absolute truth.
He recognizes that the person standing right next to him is somehow both his most intimate friend and this vast, incomprehensible Godhead. The relationship has to transform before the vision can even be sustained.
So our deep dive today is focused on this very transformation. We need to unpack three key things for you. What precisely did Arjun see when his friend became the absolute deity? What profound and, frankly, terrifying lessons did this vision reveal about time and destiny?
And finally, the big takeaway.
The big one. What practical advice does Krishna give about the highest form of exclusive devotion?
Let's get into it.
Okay, so before we get to the magnificent display itself, we have to talk about the logistics of the vision. Arjun asks to see the Aishvarya Shali Rupa, this lordly, all-powerful form.
But he immediately hesitates.
He does. He asks if he's even worthy of such a sight. Krishna accepts instantly. But as our sources explain, there's a serious physical impediment here. What did Krishna grant him to make this viewing possible?
He granted him divya chakshu. We translate that as divine eyes.
Divine eyes.
It's a necessary prerequisite because our normal natural vision is just incredibly limited. I mean, think about it. Your eyes can only perceive a tiny, tiny sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum. You can't see ultraviolet, you can't see infrared.
Sure.
And you certainly can't see objects that are too sukshma or subtle or too sudura, distant.
So physical eyes are just too blunt an instrument to grasp the totality of reality.
Exactly. The divine vision has to be total. It has to encompass everything. The sat, which is the existent or perishable reality, the asat, the non-existent or unmanifest.
The whole spectrum.
The whole thing. The prakrit, or natural world, and the aprakrit, the supernatural. Without the divya chakshu, Arjun would just see a friend standing there, not the reality engine behind it all.
And within this enhanced vision, Krishna gives Arjun an inventory list, doesn't he? He gives him a look at specific components of this divine body.
He does, and it helps us grasp the sheer scale. He tells Arjun to specifically behold the 12 Adityas, the 8 Vasas, the 11 Rudras, and the 2 Ashwini Kumars.
Okay, so that's what, 33 deities?
33 principal Vedic deities, yes. But our sources are careful to point out that because of infinite directional differences, these 33 are sometimes expanded in the tradition to 33 crore,
Which is
330 million manifestations.
Wow. Okay, so that should give you a sense of just how infinite the details become. That's a scale that is literally impossible for the human mind to process. And here's a fascinating detail from the sources. Arjun wasn't the only one who received this vision, was he?
No, he wasn't. Sanjay, the narrator, telling the whole story to the blind king Dhritarashtra.
Right, miles away from the battlefield.
Miles away. He was also granted divine sight by the sage Vyasa, specifically to fulfill his duty as a narrator. So, Sanjay was a simultaneous co-viewer of the absolute divine. He saw everything Arjun saw.
Which underscores that the vision, while spiritual, was also a real event unfolding on the plane of reality.
Exactly. Now that we've set up the mechanism, let's talk about the philosophical heart of the vision. Krishna commands Arjun to look at the entire chara, everything moving and non-moving,
Contained in one place within his body.
in one place.
That is a staggering concept.
Yeah.
We often hear the idea of seeing God in the universe,
Mhm.
finding divinity in a sunset or an act of kindness.
Right.
But the sources suggest seeing the universe in God is a fundamentally different and higher state of realization.
It is indeed. Our sources, especially Swami Chinmayananda's commentary, make this exact point. Seeing God in everything is a high state of spiritual realization, no doubt.
Okay.
You're recognizing the divine spark in all creation. But seeing everything in God means the perceived separation between the creator and the created just collapses.
It's the total realization of non-duality.
That's it. The distinction between you, the observer, and the cosmos itself dissolves because it's all one container.
And the container itself is beyond any human attempt at quantification. The form is infinite. Multiple faces, countless eyes, hands, limbs.
And it's described as being without a beginning, a middle, or an end.
It transcends all of our spatial and temporal boundaries.
And to give you a practical, if still impossible, reference point for the magnitude, Sanjay describes the radiance.
The thousand suns analogy.
Right, as being equivalent to what would be produced if 1,000 suns were to just rise simultaneously in the sky. It's not just bright, it's a measure of unimaginable divine intensity.
Arjun confirms this immeasurability by describing the form as aprameya.
That term is crucial. It means immeasurable or unquantifiable. The divine, the sources remind us, simply cannot be grasped or weighed or cataloged by human senses or intellect. It's beyond our frame of reference.
And yet, within this boundless form, Arjun is able to identify familiar cosmic features, right? The sun and moon are described as Krishna's eyes and blazing fire as his mouth. Why is that fire detail so significant?
Well, the mouth of fire has a dual function that really summarizes creation and sustenance. First, it represents the sacrificial fire, which carries offerings to the gods.
Okay.
But second, and more intimately, it represents the digestive fire, the Jathar Agni, that nourishes and sustains the body.
So it's both celestial and biological.
Exactly. In this sense, Krishna is the power that connects humans to the heavens, and also the power that keeps life running at the most fundamental level. He is the ultimate consumer and sustainer.
So when Arjun synthesizes all this, the scale, the sustenance, the immeasurability, what is his crucial philosophical conclusion?
It's laid out in verse 18. Arjun declares Krishna the Paramakshara, the unchanging supreme reality. He is the ultimate support of the entire universe, the foundation upon which this temporary, constantly changing reality rests.
And he also identifies him as something else, something very important.
Yes, the protector of the Sanatana Dharma, the eternal Dharma.
We hear the term Dharma often, but what does Sanatana Dharma mean in this cosmic context?
It's the foundational, innate sense of natural justice, the cosmic moral law that governs all existence, the ability to discern right from wrong. It's the law that rules even the most powerful emperors and deities.
So by saying Krishna protects it, Arjun is affirming that order and justice are guaranteed by the Supreme Being, even in the middle of a chaotic war.
Precisely. It provides a stable foundation. This stability, however, is immediately tested, because here's where the awe-inspiring vision turns terrifying. The magnificent form becomes Vikrala,
Which means?
fearsome, and frankly, deeply disturbing.
The sources describe a profound psychological shift. Arjun sees all directions filled by Krishna, whose many mouths now feature these terrifying tusks and fierce jaws. This isn't just a powerful deity, it's the engine of destruction.
It is. This sight causes Vyakulata extreme anxiety, not just in Arjun, but he perceives it radiating out, causing anxiety throughout the three worlds.
The peaceful vision has flipped.
It has. It's become a terrifying engine of time and death.
And the terror is amplified because this violent form reveals the future outcome of the entire war. Arjun sees all the principal opposing warriors.
His beloved teachers, his revered elders like Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama, his rival Karna.
All of them rushing headlong into Krishna's blazing mouths, their heads being crushed, their bodies consumed.
And the visual analogy Arjun uses here is profoundly insightful. He's trying to make sense of this rush of doomed warriors. At first, he compares them to rivers rushing naturally to the sea.
Which implies an inevitable passive destiny.
Yes, but he immediately corrects himself. He compares them instead to moths rushing to a flame out of delusion or moha to be destroyed.
Wait, why is that correction so important? The difference between a river and a moth.
The correction acknowledges agency, even within a fixed destiny. A river has no choice. It's compelled by gravity. Moths, however, rush to the flame because of delusion.
They're drawn to what they think is light.
And that perceived choice leads to their destruction. Arjun realizes that while their fate is sealed by divine time, their choice to stand against Dharma is driven by their own ignorance.
So Arjun is utterly bewildered by the sheer violence of this cosmic engine, and he finally asks the obvious question, who are you, terrifying form?
And the reply is the climax of the entire chapter. Krishna says, I am Mahakala, the great time expanded, engaged in the destruction of the worlds.
Chilling?
Then he delivers the definitive command that resolves Arjun's crisis. He tells him, these warriors are already slain by me. Arjun must simply arise, obtain fame, enjoy the kingdom, and be nimitta.
Merely an instrument.
Merely an instrument.
That concept, being a nimitta, is where this ancient text becomes so relevant to you, the learner. When you face a difficult, complex project or decision, this idea addresses that psychological barrier of doubt and the fear of failure.
Absolutely. The toughest part of any complex task is the high probability of failure. By assuring Arjun that the hardest parts defeating legendary figures like Drona and Bhishma are already achieved by divine will, Krishna removes the crushing burden of uncertainty.
The focus shifts entirely.
It shifts from success or failure to the simple, humble mandate of performing the action required of an instrument. You are just there to hold the tool.
The terror of Mahakala has done its job. Arjun is physically trembling, completely overwhelmed. He's forced into the ultimate act of submission.
He issues this tremendous apology. He apologizes profusely for all the times he treated Krishna as just a friend, a Saka.
During leisure time, at meals, while sleeping.
All because he didn't know his supreme majesty. He didn't know the immensity of who he was dealing with, and he treated the creator of the universe with this casual familiarity.
The plea for forgiveness is so human and relatable.
It is. He begs Krishna to tolerate his offenses, using the deepest relational analogies. As a father tolerates a son, or a husband tolerates a wife, it's an appeal to patience, to the love within the relationship.
And philosophically, he gets it now?
He gets it. He defines Krishna as encompassing everything, the sat, the asat, and the reality that is beyond both. He has seen the totality.
But seeing the totality is too much to bear. Arjun pleads with Krishna to return to a calmer, recognizable form.
Specifically the Chaturbhuja, the four-armed Vishnu form, because the cosmic form is just too dazzling and frightening for sustained human interaction. He needs his friend back.
And Krishna complies immediately.
Which is a key moment of grace. He first shows the four-armed Vishnu form, which is itself noted to be Sudardarsha, or rare, and desired even by the gods. Then he returns to the tranquil, two-armed human form, the Manusya Rupa.
And that familiar, peaceful form instantly calms Arjun's mind. The vision is complete.
It is.
But the revelation is not over. Krishna confirms that this level of realization, seeing the four-armed form, let alone the universal form, cannot be achieved by traditional means.
Right, it's not about ticking boxes.
It can't be earned through studying the Vedas, rigorous austerities, massive acts of charity, or elaborate rituals. What is the single required path to attain this?
The single path is Ananya Bhakti.
Exclusive devotion.
Exclusive devotion. It moves the goalposts away from external performance and into internal disposition. And Krishna provides a clear, actionable roadmap, which is the practical conclusion of the chapter.
Let's break those qualities down, because this is the application layer for you.
First, the devotee performs all duties only for him. This is nishkama karma, action without desire for personal gain.
Okay, that's number one.
Second, they are completely dedicated to him, known as my pariyana. Third, they must be free from attachment or asakti rahit, not hating the world, but not being bound by it.
And the fourth, which sounds maybe the most challenging.
It might be. They must be free from enmity toward all beings, virapava rahit.
So it's not just a feeling of love, it's a total reorientation of action and perspective, devoid of personal malice or possessiveness.
Exactly. Krishna states that this path alone enables one to see, to know the essence, and to achieve a complete oneness with the divine. It's the framework that allows the human mind to process the magnitude of the infinite without collapsing into fear.
And that brings the full arc of Chapter 11 to a complete conclusion. We began with Arjun's simple scholarly request for experiential proof, And we ended with a complete transformation of his understanding of reality, purpose, and duty.
We saw the totality of time, creation, and destruction contained within a single body,
Yeah.
and the shift from the terrifying, all-consuming Mahakala to the peaceful, two-armed Manusharupa is the ultimate lesson. Divine realization leads to profound stability, not panic. You have to find the right framework, Ananya Bhakti, to engage with that power productively and peacefully.
Which leaves us with this provocative thought for you to consider. Arjun was told he was merely an instrument, a nimitta, in a battle whose outcome was already determined by the great time. If success and failure are ultimately governed by forces far beyond your immediate control, how does shifting your focus from the outcome, the success or failure of a venture, to the quality of the action, performing your duty only for the divine, fundamentally change your daily decision-making? What difficult task in your own life could you approach simply as a nimitta,